Autumn is trapped in a recurring, gut-wrenching nightmare that haunts her every night. In the quiet darkness of a forest, a cold, disdainful alpha stands over her, his voice cutting through the silent night air like a sharp blade as he commands her to look at him. Every fiber of her being resists, yet an invisible force yanks her chin upward, forcing her to meet his eyes filled with nothing but pure loathing, as if she is the lowest, most worthless thing in his world. He spits out that she means nothing to him, that she is nobody at all, and the words slice through her like 1,000 tiny knives, dropping her to her knees on the damp, leaf-strewn ground. She knows exactly what comes next, the official mate rejection, the searing, soul-crushing pain she once read about in old stories of she-wolves cast aside by their fated pairs. Back when she was a child, those stories made her shudder at the descriptions of all-encompassing, earth-shattering agony, and now she is about to feel it for herself. Her inner wolf howls in grief, but she begs him to do it, to get it over with, to release her from the agony of being trapped with a mate who hates her. The mate bond between them flickers, weakening as it senses its impending end, yet still glows faintly. A last spark of warmth in the surrounding cold, almost as if it is begging him to reconsider. He steps closer, his black boots caked in mud, and tilts her face up with his fingers. When she whispers her plea to be rejected, to be set free, a low, deep growl rumbles up from the base of his chest, and his grip on her chin tightens. For a moment, she thinks he will snap, but he slowly gets control of his wolf and lets out a long sigh. When he finally speaks, his voice is softer than she expected, but no less chilling. "What makes you think I'll ever let you leave me?" The sound of her name jolts Autumn awake, gasping as she stares up at the mold-stained ceiling of her tiny, cramped room. It is the same nightmare again, the one that plays on loop every night, always ending right before the rejection lands, always leaving her with a hollow, heavy dread that feels far too real to be just a dream. It feels less like a fantasy and more like a premonition, a warning of something waiting for her just over the horizon. She snaps out of her daze when she hears Luna Joella shouting from downstairs, and a quick glance at the clock makes her curse under her breath. She is late. Scrambling out of bed in a frenzy, she throws on clean clothes and races down the stairs, her heart pounding as she skids into the kitchen. Joella raises an eyebrow at her disheveled state, her tone dry and dismissive as she quips about her grand arrival. Autumn tries to apologize, to blame her alarm for not going off, but Joella cuts her off sharply, refusing to listen to any excuses. She orders Autumn to finish preparing the pack's breakfast immediately and then get to her daily chores, warning her it will be an extremely busy day before turning and leaving without another word. Autumn works as fast as she can, getting breakfast ready just in time as pack members file in to eat. She hands out plates to everyone, then sets to cleaning up the entire kitchen, her mind drifting back to her nightmare as she scrubs. She is pulled from her thoughts when Joella bursts back in, barking at her for lingering in the kitchen. When Autumn calmly asks what she needs done, Joella shoves a long list of extra tasks into her hands, piled on top of her already full daily workload. Autumn's eyes widen as she scans the paper. There are nearly 30 additional chores, far more than one person could possibly finish, and Joella just smirks at her shock, telling her she better get started right away, and to rein in her attitude before it gets her into serious trouble. Biting back a sharp retort, Autumn lowers her head in submission, knowing better than to argue with the Luna. She sits at the kitchen island for a minute to map out a plan for her day, sighing heavily before she dives into the work, knowing she has no other choice. It has been 4 years since Autumn's parents died, leaving her with a mountain of massive debt they owe to the Alpha and the Pack. She was only 20 at the time, halfway through her second year of college, when Alpha Warner pulled her out of school entirely, and told her she would have to work off every cent of the debt with labor. Since then, her life has been an endless cycle of cooking every meal, scrubbing toilets, and running endless errands for the entire pack house, with no end to her sentence in sight. On her hardest days, she lets herself dream of the day she can walk away from the pack house and never have to do another person's chores ever again. Autumn manages to check off most of the tasks on Joella's list before it is time to start preparing dinner. She stumbles into the kitchen disheveled, her hair falling out of its ponytail and her shirt stained with dirt and cleaning supplies. Leaning against the counter for a quick second to catch her breath, she lets herself daydream about freedom, about a life far from the pack and its constant demands. She has barely started on dinner when the pack's alarm bells begin to ring, loud and urgent, echoing through the entire house. Confused, she watches as pack members rush past in a panic, shouting to one another as they scramble for weapons. She grabs a passing girl by the arm to ask what is happening, and the girl tells her, trembling with fear, that Alpha Warner has broken the long-standing treaty and attacked the Red Moon Pack, and now the Red Moon Wolves are heading straight for their borders to retaliate. The girl runs off before Autumn can ask anything else, leaving her frozen in place, her mind racing. Breaking a treaty is bad enough, but breaking a treaty with the Red Moon Pack? That specific treaty was put in place personally by the Alpha King himself. Defying the king means brutal, severe punishment for every last member of the pack, not just the Alpha who broke the rules. She hears Joella's voice raised in anger down the hall, and she ducks behind a wall, not wanting to be seen, but desperate to know the truth. If they are all going to die for their Alpha's mistake, she at least wants to know why. She listens quietly as Joella confronts Alpha Warner, furious that he would break the treaty so openly when they had a careful, long-term plan. Warner snaps at her to stop, that too many things are already in motion to turn back now. Joella presses him, asking if this is a reckless power play, if he attacked just to seize Red Moon's land for himself. Warner growls back that the land is rightfully theirs, that Red Moon stole it from them generations ago and manipulated King Elijah into letting them keep it. Joella hisses that he must have thought he could win fast, so he better finish the fight quickly because as soon as King Elijah hears what happened, all of their heads will be on the line. Anger burns hot in Autumn's chest as she realizes their reckless, selfish Alpha has risked every single wolf in the pack over a few dozen acres of land. She huffs and turns to go back to the kitchen, but a hand wraps around her arm roughly, yanking her around. It is Joella, glaring at her with cold fury. Autumn lowers her head immediately, murmuring a quiet greeting. Joella hisses, accusing her of spying on their private conversation. Autumn denies it calmly, saying she was just finishing the chores Joella gave her, but Joella scoffs, not believing a single word. She drags Autumn up the stairs to her tiny room, shoves her inside roughly, and slams the door shut, locking it from the outside. She warns Autumn that what she heard will never leave her lips, and that she will stay locked in there until everything is sorted out. Alone in her room, Autumn decides to make the most of her unexpected free time. She takes a long, hot shower, washing away the sweat and grime from her long day of backbreaking work, then pulls on an oversized t-shirt and crawls into bed. She tries to sleep, but the distant sounds of battle keep her awake. The pack's mind link is in complete chaos, flooded with shouted commands, cries of pain, and desperate calls for help. The pack is at war, and it is only a matter of time before the warriors stumble back, bloodied and broken, from the fight at the border. When she finally drifts off to an uneasy sleep, her mind circles with unanswered questions. What will happen when King Elijah finds out what Warner has done? Will he come to the pack himself to deliver punishment? Will he punish every last one of them for their Alpha's crime, or only the man who broke his law? A shudder runs through her as her thoughts drift back to her nightmare, to the cold, mysterious Alpha who was so ready to cast her aside. Who is he? Is he even real? And if he is out there somewhere, How long will it be before their paths cross in the waking world?